Came to the big city, Atlanta, Georgia. Hello, pretty people. Hello, gorgeous people. Yes. So I came to the big city, Atlanta, Georgia, to pursue my career in radio and television. It was the best decision at that time. I love talking, and I said, you know what? I'm going to make money talking. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but that's what I want to do. And I made that decision in high school, actually. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do for a living. And so I pursued that. And so I went to school. My degrees are in, hello, gorgeous. My degrees are in communication and public relations. And so I was like, you know what? Today is the day I need to tell you guys something. How? If you want to know how to tell a story, your success story. Okay, so if you don't know, let me just tell you how I answer your business questions. If you share or tag, you can ask me any business question if you share a tag, because we all know people, right, who need some extra motivation and inspiration and free business tips. So I don't want to be the best kept secret. So you want to share the broadcast, and if you do, you get to ask me any business question, and I will teach on that subject or I will answer you privately. And so Miss Melissa had a question. She said, I don't have a success story, right? And she's starting her network marketing business. So how does she, tell a story? And so everybody has a story. It's just how you tell the story. And so I'm going to help you today, and I'm going to do my best to give you some illustrations and examples of how you can tell your I story or your why story to attract your ideal prospect. Is that good? Does that sound good to you? Say yes or yes. Yes, Jerusha, that sounds good to me. Okay. So I want you to be able to tell that story regardless. And you'll tell the same story over and over and over, just to different people. So part of Melissa's question is, I don't have success. We all have success, right? And that's why it's important for you to celebrate yourself. Even if it's small success, it's some success. The fact that you got started in a business, you're successful. Most people will never start. So you need to congratulate yourself right now. Like, pat yourself on the back. I started. At least you started. Most people won't even start. And if they start, they quit like the next day. So they start and stop. If you're continuing to build your business, you are ahead of the curve, and you need to celebrate yourself. And so, yes, hello, gorgeous. Thank you for joining me. Miss Cross is in the building. She's on Facebook. I see you, Miss Cooper. And so I'm going to go take your pen and paper out. And so I can go over with you some tips that's going to help you tell your story, especially if you're building a network marketing or direct sales business or any store or any entrepreneurship, because people want to know how you got started. People want to know, how are you successful? People want to know how you did it, right? And people want to know why you did it. And so you need to be able to communicate that effectively. Yes or yes. So yes, Jerusha. Hey, Miss Stacy. So why do you want to build a business? Write that down. Comment below. Let me know. This is interactive. Why do you even want to build a business? Why do you want to be successful in business? Why do you want to create residual income? Why do you want to create generational wealth or financial freedom? Why do you want to do that? Okay. Now, for most people, they're going to say, I just want to have a lot of money. Most people might say, I just want to take care of my children. Most people will say, oh, I just want to take care of my parents. So you got to have a clear why. Why do you want this level of success? Hey, Miss Yvonne is in the building. Why is that important to you? Okay. And I'll tell you why it was important to me and still is important to me. So you got to know, why am I doing it? Why am I working a full-time job and starting a side hustle? Why do I need that extra money? Why do I need passive income? Why do I need residual income? Why? What would that do for you and your family if you had it? What I've learned is that you have to be able to tell your story to attract your ideal prospects, because people don't care what you know. They care why you do it, right? They don't care what you do. They care why you do it. And they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so it's so important for your why to be clear. Okay. And so I'll tell you my why in a moment. And so we live in a society that's all about me. Me. We live in a me society. Write this down. Everyone's listening to the same radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? Everybody's listening to that same radio station. Every person has a sign on their forehead that says, make me feel important. Oh, let me do that. Snooze that for a moment. Dismiss. Make me feel important. Everybody wants to feel important and needed and heard. So yes, hello, gorgeous. I have a newbie. So I'm Jerusha Wiggins, motivational speaker, radio personality, and business coach in a direct sales business. And I help women start a business in my organization or build their current businesses online and offline. So I create what I call double threats. So if you want to be a double threat, hashtag double threat, hashtag double threat in the comments, say double threat, because I initially built my business offline years. Okay. That means I was at office meetings, coffee meetings, conferences, offline meeting people, every place that I went, I was meeting people offline, right? Years ago. And I became successful doing that. And so I met a lot of people. And then just a couple of years ago, I started learning how to do it online. And so now I've met so many people like your beautiful face, Miss Melissa, is that Rika, all of you online. And so I help women build their businesses online and offline. And so I just want to make sure that anything is available if you're willing to put in the sweat equity. Everything is available if you're willing to put in the sweat equity. And so most people, they're not willing, they're just wanting. And there's a difference between willing to and wanting to. Most people want to be rich. Most people want to travel the world. Most people want to be debt free, right? They want it. But are you willing to do what's necessary? And a part of that willingness is to learn a skill. Everything is skill based here. You can learn a skill. If I could teach you, could you learn? Yes or yes? Give me a hand emoji. Yes, if I could teach you, could you learn? Yes, you can learn anything. And I tell my boys all the time, every day you should be learning one thing new. Every single day, you should be investing in your business, investing in yourself. You're the greatest investment is in yourself. The greatest investment is in yourself. Every single day, I'm trying to learn something new. Every day, not someday, every day. Yes, thank you for joining me. Okay. So the secret, I'm going to tell you guys the secret to super success. Come on, come in. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. The secret, I'm going to give you ways to start your I story, to write it out, and you're going to make sure you record it somewhere, and you're going to memorize it. So when someone asks you, why did you start a business or how you became successful in business, you're able to tell them your I story. The beginning is always now. Tomorrow is today. Don't do it tomorrow. You have time to do it tonight. Your I story is not going to be a dissertation. It's just a few sentences, a paragraph that you can just tell any single person at any time why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, why are you doing it? People don't care what you're doing. They care why you're doing it. So the story already started, okay? Whether you participate in it or not, your story is always being written every single day. Every day is a new chapter. And so I decided I wanted to participate in my story, right? I want to make sure that I write my own story. I'm holding the pen. And so do you want to learn how to do that? Yes or yes? Everybody has a story to tell, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. This is the thing. I am as my creator made me. And since he's satisfied, so am I. And so all I need to do is show up and use the gift that he's given me. That's all I need to do. Everything else has already been deposited inside of me. So if you don't find a way to build a business, right, you're going to help somebody else build theirs. And I used to say that a long time ago, and I forgot about that quote. And I was like, oh, that's right. If you don't find a way to build a business, you will be hired to help someone else build theirs. And most of you that are on here, you want to build your own business. I believe residual income or passive income is the only way to create long-term wealth. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? And there's a difference between the two. Residual income, if you just want to know this information, residual income is from a business perspective. From a business perspective, is income you gain by doing something one time, right? And you get to benefit from that one time. That's your residual income. So if you sell something to somebody, they're going to repurchase it again and again, creating residual income. Okay. Now, if you don't find a way, right, to earn while you sleep, you'll work until you die. So you need that residual income coming in. You need to be sleeping on the beach or wherever, having a good time and making money all at the same time. That's your residual income. So passive income is money that you earn without doing much to make it. So passive income would be like a billboard. So if you purchased a billboard and that billboard is making money for you, right? People are going to your 1-800 legal services or whatever. You don't have to do much with that, right? That's just going to continue to make you money if you purchase that billboard, because people are going to advertise on your billboard. And so that's passive income. Now, obviously, scared money doesn't make money. Scared money doesn't make money, and you got to invest money and time to make money. Yes or yes? Oh, Miss Ebony is in the building, right? Another passive income example would be an ebook. So if I wrote an ebook, which I'm like, I need to write a book, right? That's on my to-do list. Like, I need to write a book. And so the ebook can be sold years and years from now. That's passive income. I did the work up front, right? I'm going to put it on Amazon or whatever, and it's just going to be making money for me all the time. People are purchasing the ebook. So however you do it, whether it's residual income or passive income, you better do it. Or both. I would suggest let's do both. So I don't know if you know this person, write this down. T. Harv Eker. He's a multi-millionaire, okay? And he earned his wealth by creating passive income. And so that's like, property. People purchase a lot of property, right? Whether it's a parking lot. If I purchased a parking lot, that will be passive income. And so you got to think of a way that you don't have to do much. You have to invest, but you don't have to do much once you get it all set. Now it's just making you money, honey. Is that sounding good? Like, yes, Jerusha, write this down. You would never go broke. Write this down. You got it? Yes, say yes or yes. You will never go broke from investing in yourself. You've got to invest in something that's going to continuously make you money. Yes, Miss Ebony says yes. Okay. Most people are not willing to learn a new skill to change their own circumstances. Most people are not willing to do it. They're not willing to put in the time or the money. I can tell you exactly how you can do it. The first thing I'm going to say is you're going to have to invest money. And what happens to most people, they get scared and they stop. They don't figure it out. You can figure it out if you want to change. And most people will not participate in their own rescue. And so this is the thing. Stop waiting, stop watching, stop wondering. Stop waiting, stop watching, stop wondering. And so today you're going to start that I story. And so as you're building your businesses and becoming more successful, you must already know what to say and how to say it to attract your people to your organization. Okay, so I know the people that I'm attracting to my organization, I'm building 100 online leaders. I want women that work in corporate America, or they did work in corporate America. They are wanting a side hustle or a side business. They want residual income and they want to learn how to do it online. Those are my people, because that's what I did. I was working a full-time job and I knew I needed to do something else. I wanted time freedom. I no longer wanted to work a traditional 9-to-5. I no longer wanted to be in an office or a cubicle. I changed. The company didn't change. I changed. The moment I had my preemie son, I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. What else can I do? And so someone introduced me to direct sales and I got started. So that's how I know you're not talking to everybody, because only that one person talked to me about direct sales and I got started. I had never been introduced to that business or that industry ever. And so that was my first introduction and I got started with that person. So that's why it's like, just on social media, there are 2.94 billion people on social media. It's enough room at the top for everybody. You got to talk to every single person. You got to tell every person your story, every person. And the moment she told me her story, the moment she introduced me to direct sales, I was like, okay, I'm in. Where do I get started? So I encourage you to do the same, but you do have to know your ideal prospect and who you're looking for. So your story and success story is going to ebb and flow because that's life. Things happen all the time. And so failure is inevitable. But if you live such a cautious life and you never fail at all, consequently, you already did. So I'm always looking forward to falling forward to success. I know I'm going to fail at something, but I'm okay with that because I learned something and I can do better the next time. You heard people say when you know better, you do better. Okay, so we fall forward to success, and great stories help others see themselves in you. When you have a story and you tell that story, you give other people hope. And so that's my thing is I hope that I'm giving you hope that you can do anything. So I love hearing other people's story. So when I'm booking people, so like I said, I'm developing 100 online leaders. So I speak to a lot of people about what I'm looking for. And so I always want to hear their story. And a lot of people will say, like Melissa, oh, I don't have a success story. Yes, you do. You're still here, right? You have a good story, right? Now, this is the thing. Once you start writing your story, because you should write it down, number one, you should write your story down. It shouldn't just all be the horrible things that has happened or the challenging things that happened. It shouldn't be just that. You have to overcome for it to be a good story. Okay. So when you're going live, or if you're doing a TikTok or whatever you're doing to start marketing and branding yourself, when you're telling your story, it should definitely be at the end success. It cannot be doom and gloom the entire time. The point is, people love a triumph story. People want to hear the end. Like, what happened? Okay, you overcame this obstacle. You overcame this, and now you're successful. That's what people want to hear. That gives them hope that they can do it too. Does this make sense? Yes or yes? So now write this down. You got it. She said, yes, that sounds good to me. All right, perfect. So yes, just follow. Yes, the information for my online business, just click the link above. There's a link above. If you just want free business tips, there's a link for that as well. I have a link tree. If you're on TikTok, just click the link. It's only one link that they give you. It's going to take you to my link tree, and it'll give you options for the free business tips. It'll also give you options on the online business. Okay. Yes. It's right above where it says Q&A. There's only one link. So I heard Les Brown say, you guys know who Les Brown is? Yes or yes? Okay. I heard Les Brown say, greatness is within all of us. And he also said, greatness usually dies within all of us. And I listen to a lot of speakers, right? Most people know Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Lisa Nichols. Like everyone knows, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki. Like, a lot of people. So I'm often listening to all of these people and I'm absorbing all of this information. I just told you I learn something new every day. I don't care if it's a word, it's a phrase, it's a definition, it's a tool, it's an app. Every single day I'm like, okay, what can I learn today? And so I was listening to Les Brown, and he said the richest place in the world is not Africa. It's not London. It's not Paris. It's not Tokyo. Les Brown said the richest place in the world is the graveyard, where dreams were never fulfilled, books were never written, songs were never sung, cakes were never baked to start that bakery, right? Designs were never published, talents were never discovered. Their dreams died within them. And you don't want your dream to die within you. I never looked at it like that until I heard him say it. Most people are too afraid to live out their dreams. Most people are too afraid to tell their story. Most people are too afraid because they're afraid of what other people would think of them. Now, this is the thing. You shouldn't care what other people think of you, right? Because my mother said, you know what? You're going to let people worry you in your grave and they don't even come to your funeral. And so I'm not going to worry about what other people think of me. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up big. I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to live. My hope is to shorten somebody else's learning curve. And so that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Write out the story, right? Somebody needs to hear it. Somebody is waiting for you. I believe your success is tied to somebody else's belief system. You can write that down. I believe your success is tied to somebody else's belief system. So let your dreams be bigger than your fears and your actions louder than your words. You got to act on it, not just talk about it. You got to be about it. Most people are just talking about it. They're giving me lip service. They're just talking about it and they're not actually doing it. You know, action precedes motivation. Okay. And so, yes, Smith, I got a little appointment coming up. All right. So I discovered my talent, like I said, in high school, that I was going to be talking one day. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And so me going into radio and television was intentional. So when you are building your business, it has to be intentional. Success is not by accident. Okay, so I decided this is what I'm going to major in. And my goal was I'm going to work for CNN News in Atlanta, right? In high school, I said it, right? And then what did I do? I moved to Atlanta to do that. So I wasn't just talking about it. So if your goal is to start a clothing store, a boutique, or whatever, just start. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't have any referrals. I didn't have anybody, connections. I just knew I was going to work hard enough to work there. That's it. And so you just need to know that your business is going to be successful, but you just got to start. So I discovered that my talent in that a long time ago. So my corporate job was a part of my success story. My plan was to work in television for 30 years and retire. Who else was like that? Like, baby, I've arrived. And so God's plan was for me to talk to you. And so I knew I wanted to use my voice. And so I pursued that broadcasting industry. I pursued it. And it's interesting because once I started going live just a few years ago in 2017, I went live for the first time. And just doing that, I met someone that they heard something I did online. They introduced me to somebody that owns a radio station. And I ended up doing a radio show. So I was still talking. So it still came back to me. And so if you just working your gift, working your thing, your blessings are going to come. Oh, she said, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You are totally welcome. And so let's start with your iStory. So let me give you an example. Because I worked in television and radio, I can only give you an examples about what I actually did. I've never really worked another job outside of that, not a career anyway. I think I worked at Hardee's when I was a teenager, but other outside of what I wanted to do, I didn't work anywhere else. So I'm going to give an example. So when it's breaking news, you know how her voice changes. Now I'm a little hoarse, so I can't do it. But if you listen to the news, her main purpose, or you read a headline, is to captivate you, right? To suck you in. So you listen to the whole story. So when you go live, or when you do a TikTok, or whatever it is, or when you're speaking to someone face to face, you got to make sure that your voice, your tone, your attitude, your enthusiasm, everything has to be together where you captivate their attention. Like you want them to be interested. And so a lot of times when I see people go live, they're not, stopping the scroll. What I call is stopping the scroll is when you are so interesting that people stop to hear what you're saying, right? And so you got to be, wait a minute, saying something that they're like, what is she talking about? I want to hear it. And so the lady, the anchor, she does that very well. Yes or yes. So if she came on and she says live in downtown Atlanta, we just learned 3 unarmed boys were shot. And the story is unfolding. We'll be back, blah, 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 right? You're like, oh my gosh, 3 unarmed teenage boys were shot. That's all she told you because she wants you to stay there till she comes back and tell you the rest of the story, right? That's how you have to do on your live. That's how you have to do when you're telling your story, okay? So if I told you my traditional story that I typically tell people is, I started in radio and television. My background, I worked for CNN News. My degrees are in communication and public relations. And I started a side business. And that's why I have a business today. That's me just telling you the story. Most people, you need to do a show me story. Write this down. I got this from Lisa Nichols. You can tell a story or you can show a story. Write it down. When I told you about the unarmed 3 teenagers, I was showing you. You could visually see 3 young teenagers that were unarmed and was shot, right? If I just said some people got shot, that was just telling you. But I want to show you because I want to pull some emotion out of you, right? I want to make that connection with you. I want you to be captivated. I want you to stay right here so you can listen to the rest of the story. And so write this down. There's a show me story and a tell me story. Okay. And we're going to learn how to do both. So you're not the author of your life. God is the author, but you're the editor. So people want you to fail, right? Anyway, the people that are listening and watching you, they want you to fail. You might as well give them something to talk about. So I'm all about it. Okay. So business tip. First point is the willingness to take a risk. So you're telling your truth, is being transparent and vulnerable to the world. Okay. I am the person that I don't have this grandiose story like some people, like Steve Harvey was living out of his car. Now he's a millionaire. I don't have a story like that because I wasn't child abused. I didn't live out my car. I wasn't a stripper and now I'm a singer. I wasn't a drug dealer. I wasn't homeless. I wasn't raped or molested or abused. I don't have that story. And I think that people, oh, thank you, Angela. She said first time watching. I think that people think you have to have that type of story to be interesting, but you don't, because I don't have that kind of story, right? I just went to school and like everybody else, and I graduated with honors and I got my first job in radio. Like, I don't really have this, I was living out of my car for 10 years and now I'm a millionaire. I don't have that kind of story, but you do have a good story for your ideal prospect. Does that make sense? Okay. So I wasn't abused in any kind of way. However, those people who shared those stories of triumph and overcoming obstacles is what healed them and helped somebody else. And so understand, you don't need to tell your truth until you have conquered some level of success. I'm going to say it again. You don't really need to tell your truth until you have conquered some level of success, because strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. And so people want to hear the overcoming, the comeback story. People want to hear that. And so just make sure when you are being transparent, you make sure at the end they have a reason to say, okay, I can do it if she can do it. So being clear about your story, sharing something that's going to touch my soul. So I needed to be like, oh my gosh, that her story is so good. I can listen to it again and again and I get inspired. So if you've heard Lisa Nichols, her story was that she had one son. She was a single mom, and that her son didn't have Pampers, and she went to the ATM and she couldn't, you have to get $20 out of the ATM, but she had like $12. And so she couldn't get the $12. So she went home and she wrapped her son in a towel, okay, as a pamper, because she couldn't afford Pampers. And that's when she said she made a vow to her son that they were never going to be broke again. She said, I will never put you in this situation again. And that's when she started attending conferences and she started investing in herself. That's when she started doing it. Notice she never told that story until she had some level of success. The same thing with you. You have to make sure that even though starting a business, you don't have success yet, like a big level, but you're successful because you started. And so like when I started telling my story, it was just, hey, I worked in radio and television, and I was tired of working for somebody else and I needed time freedom and I wanted to do something on the side. That was when I first told the story. After listening to Lisa Nichols and how I should tell the story, which that was a tell me story, I'm going to show you the story now. So if I said to you, listen very carefully, hey, on Facebook, if I said, I'm Jerusha Wiggins, my background is radio and television, I was being very challenged after I had my first preemie son. He was only 3 pounds. So moms, you can relate how terrified I was. He was 3 pounds and he was in an incubator for like 5-6 weeks. He was unable to come home from the hospital. And you guys know that maternity leave is only 8 weeks. So if he came home in 6 weeks, that means he was in the hospital most of the time. And so I did extend it to short-term leave. But when my preemie son came home, he did have tubes, right? Like a heart monitor, because his lungs were not fully developed and he would just stop breathing. And he stopped breathing once in the car and he stopped breathing another time when we were at home. And I still was working a full-time job. And the only thing that I could think of was, if something happened, I want to be there. If he stopped breathing, I don't want the daycare lady to be there. I want to be there. Oh my gosh, I'm getting emotional about it like it just happened. That's how you know it's a real story. That's why I started a direct sales business. That's why I wanted to work for myself, because I was like, I want to be the person to share this moment. I want to see him crawl. I want to see him walk. And because he was delayed in so many areas, we had physical therapy, we had speech therapy, we had all this therapy. And then you have the doctors saying, okay, he's going to be delayed in this area and this area. And I was like, not on my watch. The devil is a lie. And the only way that I could help him was for me to be in control of my time. Therefore, I could not work a traditional 9 to 5. It was a personal choice. So I had to make a decision. Am I going to invest this time to help him as best as I can? I'm going to learn how to help a preemie. I'm going to learn what he needs. I'm going to learn how to do it. Sacrifice my career in television and say, I'm going to find something else that's going to give me residual income. I'm going to find something else that I can still talk. I can still speak. I'm going to find something else. That's how the first person who spoke to me, I was ready. I was hungry. I was already there. And that's how I became a part of the top 2% in 8 months, because my I story, my why story was big enough. My why was I doing it? So I could be at home. Why was I doing it? For time freedom. Why was I doing it? So my son can get the best care. That's why I was doing it. Obviously that's changed because he's a teenager now. But the reason I initially started was because I needed to have flexibility. That's the story. So now I know when I tell that story, I'm passionate about that story because it's my story. No one can tell me what I felt when my son was on a heart monitor. No one can tell me what I felt. I'm at work and they said, oh, you can't leave to go get him and take him to a doctor's appointment. No one can tell me what that felt like. I know what it felt like and I didn't like it. And I was like, I'm going to quit. I was like, you know what? I don't think this 9 to 5 is going to work out. I decided that at that moment. And so when I tell that story, I already know moms can relate. If you can relate and you're a mom, put mom in the comments. Say, I'm a mom, or if you're a mom of a preemie, you already know. If you are a mom of a preemie, you already know what I'm talking about. So I know when I'm speaking to moms, or I'm speaking to someone who works a traditional 9 to 5, and you need to get out of that 9 to 5, and you're hungry to do whatever is necessary, you're my people. So when you tell your story, you got to be talking to your ideal prospect. Those are my people. Moms are my people. Moms that have preemies are my people, because I can tell you exactly what I did to help him. I can tell you exactly the time that was spent. I can tell you every single thing, the resources. I can help you. And so that's why I started my business. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down why you want a business. Why is that important to you? Why do you need financial freedom? Why do you need residual income? Why do you need it? That's why I needed it, because I wanted to be on my time. I wanted to go whenever I needed to go. He had so many doctor's appointments, it felt like it was every week. And you know, when you work for a traditional job, they're not going to let you get off 3-4 times, right? To go to a doctor's appointment. And so that's when I knew something had to change, and I made the decision to change. Does this make sense? Yes or yes? So a good I story will impact someone else's life that can see why, not what I do, but why I do what I do. And so when I speak to people about my opportunity, I tell them the reason that I started was because of my preemie son. Obviously, that's changed. The reason I'm doing it now, right, is for my family. I have 2 boys and a husband, and also for my parents. So that's why I'm doing it now. So the why has changed. The I story has changed. So I want you to make sure that when you're writing your story tonight, because your homework is to write it out tonight, right? And you're going to ask the necessary questions. Why am I starting a business? Or why do I want a online business? Or why do I want, generational wealth? Why do you want to do it? Okay. And why do you want it today? What's going to drive you? What's going to drive you to do it? Because I can tell you it was challenging still working a full-time job, building a side business, caring for my son, right? It was hard. I'm not going to tell you, oh, it was easy. I just worked 1 hour a day. That's lies. Okay. I worked a lot of hours. And so I don't want to be one of those people that show up live and just tell you it's going to be easy, right? It's not going to be. It's simple, but it's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And so this does require you to make sure you have a system in place. You got to have systems in place for it to happen for you. So one thing you want to ask yourself, if you're starting a business right now and you have a full-time job, why are you doing both? What would that mean for your family? Okay. I believe it's the only way that you're going to create long-term wealth if you build it yourself. And your why should make you cry. Like you've heard people say that. Your why, like my why still makes me cry. So your why should be so compelling, it makes you cry. Because even when it was hot, I still worked my business. Even if it was cold, I was sick, I still worked my business because of the why. It's a reason why I'm doing it. I'm not just doing it. You think I want to go live all the time? You think I want to train all the time? You think I want to talk all the time? I don't. But why am I doing it? Why am I pushing myself to do it? Okay, because I know the end from the beginning. And if you know the end from the beginning, you'll stay empowered in the process. You can write that down. I know the end from the beginning. So I keep doing it because I know what I want. I know what I've seen. I see the vision. And I know it can happen. Yes, I'm going to make mistakes. Yes, it's not going to be perfect. I fail all the time. Oh, I wish you knew. I fail all the time, right? But my why is so big, it keeps me going. And so when you're writing your story, make sure that you tell your truth, be authentic, but there has to be, right, some level of success at the end. And so now I can tell you that Preemie's son is a teenager. That Preemie's son graduated valedictorian, even when they said he was going to have all of these challenges and difficulties, right? This Preemie's son, like I can tell you now, he started walking, he started crawling, running. That son that they said, oh, he wouldn't be able to do this. He's not going to be able to do that. He did those things. And so I can tell you that's the success of the story. So if I just told you he didn't make it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, he didn't make it. No, he made it. And so that's why I always encourage moms that yes, mom, difficult, but yes, mom, is going to be worth it. And so when you invest that type of love and time into something, it's hard to give it up, right? And so that's how I feel about my business. So I'm going to give you some examples. Write this down. People start for different reasons. So if you're that person, you're like, Jerusha, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know why I'm doing it. I just want a business because people tell me I need a business. Well, you got to know why you want a business and why you would, work so hard to have it. And so you got to envision yourself being successful. You have to envision yourself at the top. Like you got to make sure. And if you don't see it yet, keep working. And you want to make sure that you surround yourself with people who are already doing it. Okay, so let me give you some reasons why you might want to. Financial. That's probably the biggest one for most people. Building a financially responsible life for myself and for my family can provide me with opportunities. When you're free of finances, you don't have to budget. You have choices. Okay, that's most people, number one. Number two would be pay it forward. Investing in other people, helping other people become successful, right? Some people just like to give to charities. Some people are not doing it for themselves. They like to see other people become successful. So you can pay it forward. Number three would be flexibility. Okay, having more flexibility, having the freedom to work when you want to work, when you want to work, how you want to work. It could be your family, which is mine, being present and available for my family. I want to provide for my family no matter what. Like, oh, I got it, no problem. Like every family member, not just my boys, right? I'm talking my entire family. So whatever it is for you, those are the 4 categories that most people will work for. just having financial freedom. They just wanted to have stability. They want their own choices. Number 2, they want to pay it forward. Number 3, they want the flexibility. Number 4, they're doing it for their family. Everyone, even you, Melissa, everyone has a story. We're all self-made, but only self-made millionaires admit it. You're writing your story. The pen is in your hand. People connect through stories. People relate to stories. Storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Okay. So what's your story? My story is still being written. You woke up this morning. Your story is still being written. Okay. You own everything that happened to you. I own everything that has happened to me, good and bad. And I've had some bad experiences, right? I've had some ups and downs in my business, right? But it's still my story. So one bad chapter doesn't mean your story is over. You can start a new chapter tomorrow. So your ideal prospect will be attracted to your story. Our stories bring us together. And so like today, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You said, Mom, I'm a mom. I already connected with the moms just like that for telling my story. And I don't usually tell that story often. I usually just tell the general version of the story. I never go into detail really about the story unless I'm talking to someone one-on-one. But publicly, I never tell the whole story, right? And so I wanted to share that with you, that it's important that you share your story because somebody is watching. Somebody is waiting. Somebody is needing your business. Somebody needs your product. Somebody needs your service. Your ideal prospect is there. Okay. You just got to be able to show up. Obviously, you got to show up, whether you're showing up live, whether you're posting, whether you're doing a TikTok, whatever it is, you got to first show up. Okay. And you got to start, right? Being you, loving on you, right? Let me tell you, self-development is the most important thing to be successful in any business. Because your level of income will rarely exceed your level of personal development. So I'm always working on myself first. In the morning, I'm working on me, right? I'm getting everything that I need to fill my cup. I'm working on me because I know if I got to go live, I'm working on you. I know when I show up, I got to be like, okay, I'm giving you my best. I want to help you move forward, right? And so that means that my cup has to be filled in order for me to fill somebody else's cup. Yes or yes? And so hopefully that was helpful. Yes. So that's your why. Most people like family, kids. That is your why. You're like, I want my kids to have everything. Oh, I see a mom is in the house. Yes. Everybody wants their children to have more than they did, right? And in order for that to happen, you got to get a little uncomfortable. In order for that to happen, you got to show up on social media. In order for that to happen, you have to. I didn't want to. I'm going to tell you the truth. I did not want to do it, but I knew I needed to do it. And I said, okay, I'm going to go live and I'm just going to go out there and do my best. And then that just evolved. And so I know for sure, if I can just step outside my comfort zone, you can certainly step outside your comfort zone as well. And so hopefully that has inspired you to write your story, to know why you want financial freedom, why you want to build a business, why you want generational wealth, why do you want to do it? Your why should make you cry. Your why will continue to keep you in the business. And so that's what happens to me. My boys keep me in the business. Oh, I see Miss Kim in the building. Okay. And so if that was helpful, say, Jaruja, that was helpful. Please tag and share. If you know someone that needed to hear that information, yes, please tag and share so that they are able to write their own story and they are able to start that business, because it's all about you creating residual income or passive income. And so, or both. We need both. As you guys can see, we always, something is always happening. And you always need to be in a situation where you're not trying to get ready. You're already ready. I'm already ready. Okay. And remember to do this for me. Thank you so much, Joy. Please do me a favor. Please follow. If you're on Facebook, click the 3 dots. So when I go live, you get a notification. Yes. And of course, if you're on TikTok, just follow. So when I go live, it'll give you that notification as well. If you want some free business tips, you're like, you know what? I just want free business tips. That's okay. I love to give you free business tips because I know it's so much room at the top. It's the bottom that's overcrowded. All you have to do is, if you want it on a weekly basis, there's a link in TikTok that says free business tips. And that way, on a weekly basis, you'll get those motivation, inspiration, and free business tips from me. And of course, if you're open, yes, she said, I'm open to the opportunity. There's a link. You can just DM me too. Just direct message me, and I'll tell you more about my online business and what I'm looking for. I'm always expanding. I'm always expanding my business because I know women that are like me. They want a side business. They want to earn residual income, and they don't know how to do it. And I teach how to build those businesses online and offline. So hopefully you learned something. She said, I learned something. If it was helpful, say helpful, Jerusha. Hopefully I explained that well. Helpful, helpful, helpful. Oh, she has a preemie too, Yolanda. So see, me and you're my people. Yes, the preemie. You're my people. We could talk all day about it. Yes, even the moms. I get it. I get it. Moms, I'm with you. And so if you are still working a traditional 9-to-5, you need to build your side hustle. You need to build your business so you're there for your children. That's exactly what I did. She said, very helpful. Oh, thank you so much. Helpful, helpful, helpful. All right, lovely people. I'll see your beautiful faces. Probably, is the day Friday? Look, I don't even know what today is. I'll probably see your beautiful faces tomorrow about 1:30. I'll see your beautiful faces on Saturday about 1:30. So yes, please make sure you follow me and just friend me up. I would love to talk to you more and find out about your success story, because the first thing I'm going to say is tell me about you, because I want to hear everything that you have going on. I want to know more about your journey. Yes, I'm so grateful. I'm just thankful that grace and mercy follow me. I'm Jerusha Wiggins, and I'll see you on the page. Thank you so much. Oh, you're lovely. Oh, I appreciate you too. Helpful, helpful. Miss Siobhan said helpful. I see you. Have a great day. Enjoy.